Mr. Hamsekar completed his master degree in power electronics from Bangalore University in 2016, worked as a hardware engineer in JETAM Electronics from January 2017 to August 2017. Later joined as a JRF in IIT Kharagpur under Kastha and Dr. Prabodha
Bajpai.
Bajpai for the project Reconfigurable Distribution Network. Currently working as field application engineer in Opal RT Technologies from November 2018. His research interest and expertise in power electronics, converters, DC to DC and DC to AC, microgrids, wind power generation from DFIG real-time simulator in OpenRT. So, and today he is going to share his expertise with the HIL and real-time simulation on microgrid using Opal RT. So, welcome, Mr. Hamsekar, and kindly share your experience with the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, Rajesh sir. It's such a nice introduction about me. From here onwards, I will talk about this microgrids and how to implement those things in MATLAB and implementing in real time. Those things today I'm going to cover. So if you see the title of the my presentation, HIL and PHIL in microgrids and real-time simulations using OpenRT. That means I'm going to cover the implement. As we know, talk about microgrids. We may not have all the renewable energy sources within our when you are doing the research. We may have, as in the Dialbag, we have only PV. Batteries will be there. That location may be not suitable for generation of wind, maybe not suitable for tidal energy, and we may not have sufficient or research environment for fuel energy, fuel-based, fuel cells, or else for tidal different things. So how to implement, how to design these microgrids within your laboratory or within the research applications. So those things I'm going to cover today. So before going to talk about these things, just I would like to introduce about from where I am. As Rajesh sir said, I am as currently working in application engineer in Opal RT. So I would like to give you a brief introduction about our company and what we do and why we need this real-time simulations mainly. So then I will I will show you at the end of this my presentation. I will show you a live demonstration of microgrid with real-time application in real time, so that you can understand clearly about it. How I can implement the microgrids in real time with the MATLAB and with real-time simulations and visualizing their GUI and load balancing, island detection, and different profiles of PV, wind. All those things I am going to show you at the end, and how to implement this thing within your laboratory as well as. So these things I am going to cover for these things. So before going to this details about microgrids, I would like to give about an introduction about Opal RT. So Opal RT is a company. We are the manufacturers of real-time simulators, mainly based on Canada. It's a Canadian-based company, and we have an office in Bangalore, and it's worldwide. We are more than some 250 employees. And if you may come to know about those, I came to know that there are solid participants are from abroad, apart from India. So yesterday we have RT20, so most of people maybe joined. I can understand. Now we are not only we mainly real-time simulators and hardware in loop. So for power systems, electronics, aerospace, automotive, these are the real-time simulator images. I'm showing here how the real-time simulators will be there. So this is the representation of all the hardware part, and we are the which we can simulate like HIL applications, RCP, PHIL, MIL, model loop, or software in loop, different type of and we can validate the results for any type of system. So just what we provide means mainly we'll provide a real-time digital simulator, and you can have a look at here, and it can be interconnected with the IOs with a digital analog and amplified with using a power amplifier, and it supports protocols as well as all the power system protocols. Here I have kept only some limited protocols. Apart from this, like CAN, several protocols like automatic protocols, several AWS protocols supports. You can interconnect with electronic relays or power system PMUs, and we can so that's that you can implement entire rather than going to a physical world where you can doesn't have access to all the power system network. You can simulate those things in the virtually. You can simulate, and you can cross-check your new control topology or your new ideas and how you can check SCADA systems, because research scholars and the academic professionals may not have access all times to the visiting the industries to visualize this SCADA, how any power system, Indian power system or any country's power network, how it works from generation to the till the load point. So you can visualize by implementing those things here in your laboratory itself, and you can give your new ideas how you can improve country's power network. As we know, in India itself, we are going for more implementation of PMUs and several PMUs across the country for upgrading our Indian power system for digitalized solution. So to whom we serve mainly means to electrical, if you come to the electrical domain. So these are the topics in which we have penetrated our company, which all topics we are mainly working on it, or else we are serving our clients are working on these topics. So aerospace, if you can't defense, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical and DRDO in India, all these are major clients in automotive and defense. Opal is the first service means they are the major clients for us, and TML, Tata Motor Limited, where they will go for manufacturing of EVs and EHVs, and marine for defense, all land, air, I can say all the places, and not only there, and the academic as well as. So we know, as we are electrical engineers, you know, everywhere now all the engineerings are interdisciplinary nowadays. So one or the other engineering depends upon other engineerings. So if you see that electrical engineering is interconnected with several engineering departments. So like power electronics and renewables, and the control systems, thermal modeling of batteries, cybersecurity comes cybersecurity in the power system network for protocols and autonomous cars, synchronous phasers, protocols, relay testing, mechanical again coming to aerodynamics. So what are things will Opal IT can serve for this many things, this many domains it covers. And going to these things, who needs this exactly this real-time simulator? I hope I assume that all of you know what is mean by real-time, what is mean by real-time simulations. So based on I assume those things, then I am further moving furthermore. So those who wants to know in my real time, if you any BTech or MTech students who doesn't know about what is mean by real time simulations, we are conducting a MBA program from Monday onwards. At the end of my session, I will give the link so that you can join there as well as, and you will get to know about different solutions from Opal IT and what is mean by real time simulations in the things which we not study in the academic, and what the industries do exactly before implementing any for designing a product. So now coming back here, who needs these real-time simulators exactly? So those who want to test any PMU relay here I have mentioned, like those who have a DUT, means device under test. If you have a new equipment and you want to cross-check what is the efficiency of the, how much accurate that new device which you are having, how much what the performance of it, how it's gonna see the different dynamics in it, how you can operate it. So if you have a PMU or if you have a relay, you have to take it to a power system network and have to connect with the physical currents and voltage, how much risky and hazardous it will be there. So testing a new equipment to test it, integrate some new model with a simulated model, as well as you have to where replica of a physical system. That means where you can't simulate, where you can't have access to a large network, where power system network or any powertronic circuit, big converter or electric drive or EV, anything. So where you want to make a physical replica of it within your simulation environment, those places. And where you want to interconnect between two physical systems, like if you want to connect, as I told, like a relay in itself, you have to connect to a physical power network. So how you can, before connecting a physical network, you have to cross check how to make the connections and everything. Rather than you will gonna do any mistake that may damage your equipment, doing some wrong connections and anything. So in the simulation environment, you can connect all these things and you can cross check how to do all the things. There you can do a lot of mistakes also, and it's not going to be any hazardous to you, and risk won't be there, cost effective. So these are the advantages which we are going to get. I feel I am going a little fast. Let me slow down. So not only those people, those who want to develop a new algorithm, mainly if they want to give a new control algorithm for suppose one converter. So as we know in machine drives, we may go for V/F control or DTC control, FOC and fuzzy logic. There are different control algorithms for operate one single machine. So which control logic gonna be best and most suitable for that particular application? And on the fly, means when the operating, I want to change new control algorithms. How I can design these things? So either my controller should be robust, like that I can design. So you can design these things. Where hybrid simulations involving the permanent magnet motors, or where you can design a large complex systems, or with integration of microgrids to the renewables, or integration of microgrids to the main grid, and effect of this connecting microgrids to the main grid, dynamics changing, seeing the harmonies in the main grid as well as, and not only those things, where you want to simulate faster rate rather than telling I can say it faster rate. I can say it is in real time. I can say nothing is much faster than the real time. And if you see like in microgrids, where you want to simulate the PV data or a wind data for 24 hours profile, or maybe for a 1 year profile, you have to take and have to simulate those things. Then only you can implement. Suppose you have chosen a Delhi location or some other Bombay location or any other location in the country, and you want to cross check whether that location is suitable for wind energy or PV. So you need to take this profile for 1 year or 1 month and have to take the wind energy profile or a PV irradiation profile, and you can check what, where, and how much size of my PV plant or how much size, what is the KV rating of my mission I can put it. So you can't go and directly implement the practically with missions and PV arrays, everything. So you need to cross check, means how much energy I can obtain from that location. You can do the simulation, which convert topology will be good, and what the nearest my grid point. If I connect this distributed energy sources at different places, how it's going to affect my entire power system, load balancing, all those things, flows. So you can simulate those things, all these things at one place, and you can cross check. There is a main objective how you can do with this real-time simulation. So that's why every time whenever you go to implement anything, first we go for simulations. So that's why even in engineering, from the second year or third year of engineering, will be MATLAB or any other simulation tools will be a part of our academy. It's a part of our along with our subjects and everything, such that the students or the research scholars will be familiar with the simulation environment. So they will start simulating the new topologies or the same plans and control algorithms. They can visualize the results and they can design their own things. Now coming to the microgrids and smart grids, I hope before past 2 3 days several experts have told you about this, what is definition of microgrid, what is definition of smart grid. So I'm not gonna tell you much detail about these things about smart grid. You know about this smart grid, how it is the distributed energy source will be kept at different places and integrating to this common place and connecting to the main grid. So not only these things, when you connect with smart grid, where it can be it can meet the load demand, as well as where we are going for using the protocols. How we will call mobile as smartphone, because it has its own intelligence. It will can intelligence which can take care of its own system without having involvement of human all the times. That's the place where we go for protocols, such that all the power system protocols. I think several professors maybe know about this several protocols, power system protocols. Those who are new to these protocols, I will talk about a little bit of protocols. There will be different protocols like CTPT will be there at different points, measure the current and load layers. We'll take care where that in India we have a load dispatcher, national load dispatch, national regional load dispatcher in Delhi. So from their POSOCO, they will be observing all the load patterns and each demand, load, everything, and interconnecting with the markets as well as how generation. We have, I think, in several countries or in 7 parts of the countries, they will have a generation will be one entity and the distribution, transmission will be, they have their own companies and markets will be there. So they have to check, depends upon the load, all these things. So for that purpose, these protocols plays a crucial role to know the demand as well as the fault, where the fault is happening, exact position of the relays and everything. Now coming to this microgrids, we know there will be different type of wind turbines, PV, energy storage units, generators. All these things will be at a different locations, and there will be all these renewable energy sources will be distributed at different places, and they will be interconnected to each other to meet the load, nearest load. If we will be knowing where the future demand will be high at one particular place, and this renewable energy source are abundantly available as we are going towards non-usage of fossil fuels, and where we want to go our entire globe as a green energy, green, eco-friendly, and going to emit these fossil fuels, emit these things and eco-friendly. So it's better to use. We are focusing on only on wind and PV energy generations. And which type of and ship power systems, electric aircraft, this may be additional things apart from these things. And we may have to know, see, recently you may hear about in Delhi to Chandigarh highway. Recently, BHEL has established one power EV charging station. The energy to the charging station comes from the PV panel on the highway to Patiala and this Chandigarh highway nearby that place. So that is one of the application where small microgrid they have established with complete PV. From that microgrid, they are taking the energy to that small EV charging stations, such that in the future we can see several EV also penetrating in different countries. where again to get the and charging stations energy, we can't again depend upon conventional energy sources like coal based or thermal based these things. It's better to go for microgrids, and we can establish at a different charging stations will be at different places, and nearby that place we can go for a small microgrid, and we can make a charging station near to that thing. So these type of applications we can see in the upcoming years. And microgrid simulation accelerator. Now coming to this core part of this microgrids. So as I discussed, the wind profile and PV profile, they will get 365 days. So to implement these things in particularly at one particular location, you need to take the data of this profile and you need to run these simulations for 365 days. So we have to run this continuously for 365 days. It will take 1 year. You have to wait for 1 year. So before that time, competitors or some other research scholars may take up these things who have started earlier than you, and they can come with a new solution you may have developed. So OpenRT provides a solution for this type of things to go for accelerating the simulations. Or else I can say, if you have seen any physical device like a mobile or any washing machine or some other thing, generally we used to see some electrical equipments have some warranty type things, like 1 year warranty or 2 year warranty. So how they will know that this exactly that equipment can work without having any faults for 1 year or 2 year? Means they will simulate with all the environmental parameters and they will consider like wear and tear and most of the consider, and except the mechanical things, all the electrical parameters they'll consider and they'll simulate those things. And rather than going for real time simulation, they will go for accelerating the simulation, such that rather than running for 10 hours, they can run within the run for 1 hour and they can obtain the results of the 10-hour results. So what is going to happen in the 10-hour duration, they can get it in within 1 hour. Like that, you can simulate that profiles, wind profile or whatever the profiles, different profiles, and you can estimate it. What is gonna, how much energy I'm gonna get for this type of wind profile, for this type of PV radiation. As we know, the estimations like using the fuzzy logic or artificial neural networks, we are nowadays we are going for intelligent, intelligent control systems are coming into picture. So we can estimate this microgrid by accelerating it. To accelerate that much faster rate, the microgrid consists of different equipments in it, like a power system network may be there, electronic converters will be there. Again, this electronic converter where you may be operating at higher switching frequencies, maybe 20 kilohertz or 50 kilohertz, and at the same time, the dynamics of power system will be in the form of milliseconds. The dynamics of power system, if you compare the dynamics of power system to the power dynamics are very faster than the power system dynamics, because we know that it may be 50 hertz frequency or 60 hertz frequency. See the dynamics within it, we may not go for a microsecond range, but when you talk about the Poltron converter, where the DC-DC converter or an inverter, you are going to switching frequencies, converter might be operating at, as I told just about, to see that dynamics in nanosecond range to see exactly what is happening to the switch. And we used to see like microgrids, some people may be working exactly the Poltron converters for achieving by PV, and with the reduce the number of switches to reduce the losses in it. And when any fault is happening, to remove file any detection, batteries are there to see that it's a battery management system and how we can operate these converters. And those who are working on batteries and converters, like if you consider EV application as well as, we need to see different health of each and every equipment at the different time intervals, such that we need to see which is faster dynamics, one is slower dynamics. To do this type of different dynamics, OpenRT provides a solution for multi-core and multi-agent system where you can simulate different renewable energies in different cores, and you can simulate a different time step, like multi-core simulations, I can say, multi-rate simulations, you can achieve this thing. This is an accelerating factor where you can go for offline simulation. I hope, I think no need to explain about what is real-time simulation and offline simulations. If you simulate this microgrid, say microgrid, when you simulate for 1 second, it may take 60 seconds in offline. But you run in real time, it exactly matches with the real clock. You can go for faster rate simulations to achieve, to estimate it. And multi-agent system is like where you have each and every source have their own controller, like a local controller and supervisory controller. You may hear about these things, especially in microgrids, where you have a local controller for each and every particular equipment. And with the help of OpenRT, we have ADC and DAC cards. We have a fast sampling digital input and digital output, where you can generate your gating pulses as well as the control signals from the FPGA, and you can interconnect with the remaining converters where you can simulate at one place. And all these things can be monitored at one particular location within your one GUI. You can see, visualize everything, all the health of each and every converter, and what's the current wind profile, what's the current wind speed, PV. With this PV, how much wind energies are with this PV radiation, how much energy I am going to obtain. With this PV energy, which MPPT algorithm I can use such that I can extract maximum power from there. All these things you can, each and will have their own local controller as well as supervisory controller as well as. And if you want to implement this type of simulations, as we have discussed, you may have within your laboratory, you may have PV and some battery and different things, but you may not have the you may not have the wind energy generation and fuel cell or biomass or supercapacitors and other things. So you can simulate a part of the microgrid renewable energy sources in the simulation, and you may have physical PV or physical battery, which is often in the form of kilowatt range or with kVA rating of that particular PV or battery, and you can integrate those things with a real-time simulator. So if you see in this diagram, I'm going to cover about this PHIL part separately at the end of this thing. I will showcase you some applications. So you may have in your laboratory a PV part, physical PV, and you can simulate these things with emulators like a wind emulator or PV emulator. It may be physical or it may be virtual. Generally, we'll go for virtual in the initial time before making the microgrids, and you can connect with a power amplifier and you can amplify the signal from the simulation environment to the physical environment, such that you can simulate PV. Sorry, you can simulate the fuel cells, hybrid, another energy source like tidal energy or supercapacitors, and you can integrate that energy. You can take out that energy from the simulation environment to the physical power signal with the help of a power amplifier. See the image of from here power amplifier. This sinusoidal image itself represents a low voltage signal which is coming from wind turbine emulator and PV emulator, and it can be connected to main grid or grid emulator with a, you can see its amplification with the help of power amplifier. You can amplify its magnitude. In Dialog itself, we have one power amplifier, or we will call it a grid simulator, which can amplify a low level signal to a power level signal where you can get a physical load and you can cross check your distributed energy sources. And not only that thing, we can go for cyber security as we are seeing in several cyber attacks in most of the countries. Even India is also planning to go for cyber security. If you see, there is one saying like, if you know how much energy you are utilizing in a day, so we can estimate your economic status as well as we know. Because by seeing your electricity bill, we can estimate you have a cooler by current bill itself. You may be equipped with AC and how much luxurious you are living. So not only that thing, our power system is we should go for, we are dependent, where human life is most of the time we are dependent every time with electricity. Even a 1 second or 1 minute we don't have a power, we'll feel uncomfortable with it, and several industries will be again there to restart from the starting level, and we know those things. So cyber security is a one thing where we have a communication protocol. Just now I have spoken some communication protocols in power systems. So someone can hack our power systems. You may have seen some movies also where they will shut down entire all the generators from some hackers they do. So not only those things, with in cyber security in microgrids as well as where you are integrating some several microgrids, we can observe all the microgrid health and position of each and everything, breaker and everything by sitting on place, and we can simulate this cyber security thing also, and we can go for different attacks in it, middle in the man, and the different type of attacks you can simulate, and you can visualize those things as well as snooping and different things. And as I told, no, in a power system, it's a complex thing. If you talk about this, our power system network itself, I'm not talking about this Powertronic converters or microgrids. When you integrate these microgrids to the to the power system network, suppose any fault is happening at bus, if you consider some IEEE bus network, some bus network for some 100 bus network, if any fault is happening at bus number 100, it needs certain time to travel this, see the effect of this fault at bus number 1 or some other location. Generally, it needs certain delay. That delay, if you do in the offline simulations, when you use the some PSCAD or some CYME or any other simulation environments, where this delay cannot be produced, because all things will be running in only within the core of your offline simulations, where we can't produce this artificial delay. So, and we may have longer transmission line, shorter transmission line. So different things will be there. So to produce this artificial delay, where we can use two different cores, such that we can produce this propagation delay by using this thing. And not only that thing, where you have different equipments within the power system like long transmission, short transmission, like generations, feeders, and different things, we may not able to simulate all together. So if you see matrix laboratory, MATLAB example, matrix, why it is called as matrix laboratory? Because it works on the state space equations. It considers all the things in the matrix form, and it finally forms V equal to IZ matrix, and will solve the equations with the ordinary differential equations on the solver. Those who have worked in MATLAB and some other tools, we may have seen it's a state space analysis or nodal analysis. There's an analysis which you do to extract the results. Those who are working in power systems, you may have seen the nodal analysis to do the different type of matrices, Z matrix and all the slack bus, all these matrices. That's why MATLAB is called as matrix laboratory. On to do these things, if you increase the network size of a network, the size of the matrix increases, and the solve will be taking more time. That's a problem in general if you go for offline simulations or another tool. So for that purpose, what Opalati provides is provides an Artemis solver, Artemis SSN, advanced real-time electromagnetic solver. The form of this Artemis SSN and state space nodal solver, such that if you consider any network or any power system network, it will make into decouple it into two halves, or it will decouple into two equal systems, and it can take the matrices. Now, if you see in the blue color on the state space method with X states, and we know the states also, how many states are there within this network. And as the number of states increases, the computation time, that means the calculation time to resolve or to get the output or to get the desired output, will take certain time. And not only that thing, when you do for this type of calculations in the software based in software simulation environment, like MATLAB or in offline simulations, there what is the accuracy of your results which you are going to get, how much order you are going to get. Like if you consider the value of pi, we know the value of pi is 3.14 something, but when you have like v equal to v sin omega t and some other, we are multiplying that with some other thing and doing integration, differentiation, because we know the voltage and the equations of electron capacitor, it's nothing but integration, differentiation. The small d is nothing but the sample time for how many samples you are getting when you're running in real time. So those things affects your entire system and takes a lot of time to compute to get the results. So with this OpenRT Artemis solver, we are going to achieve by doing into making into small matrices, and we can achieve it mainly. Now coming to this, how this Artemis solver works, you may have like HVDC system or a big power system network where you have a like microgrid. If you consider, both will have a power system network as well as a Poltronic converter as well as. If you see the dynamics of battery or dynamics of circuit breaker, they will be slower than rate of this Poltronic converter, and compared with again, if you see the power system network dynamics are a little bit different. So without having any delay when you do these type of things, without without having jitter, and I can say the parallel operation, the parallel computation will take place exactly, such that you are going to get exact and accurate results at the end of your simulation. And when you, as I told, several fast Poltronic converters will be there. To do this fast Poltronic converters, we know every processor or every core, they have its own clock. Again, what is the clock frequency? When you buy the mobile or some other equipment, we used to see what type of processor is there, what is the clock in it, what is the clock frequency in it. It may be 3.5 gigahertz or what is the clock if you go for DSP also. Based on the clock frequency, the cost of the equipment will be changing, and the processing capacity and computation capacity will be changes. So OpenRT will have OpenRT real-time simulator will have both core as well as an FPGA. So we used to simulate these Poltronic converters, mainly the high dynamics things or higher switching frequency equipments in the FPGA, because we know FPGA is the ultimate for do this type of calculations, where we can program it account our logical nodes, account our requirement. The logical nodes will be their gate programmable array, where we can program account our requirement, and we can go for higher dynamics, higher faster transients and everything. In FPGA, you can see these are the different type of dynamics account to the applications which you can see here. If you see the temperature controller, the temperature change in typical time step maybe at one second, if you can see, or maybe several minutes also it takes from change from one, and human vision and aircraft model, how much sample. This is called typical time step. With what time step the change in one parameter takes place. Like you see in robotics, because in robotics all the mechanical robotic arms all are mechanical motors, or it takes its inertia will be there. So it takes certain time to change from one value to another value. But if you see in power converters, the on off of the switch is taking place in microsecond, or I can say nanosecond range. If you see these things, and to observe these things which is happening in 0.2 microsecond, we need to see the sample time of that system should be in nanoseconds. So that only then you can observe its dynamics, the switch losses or switch position, what is exactly happening in the switch, and how do we can, so that we can see the exact, those who are focused on photonic converters, so that we can design your new converter with a reduced number of switches. And these are the advantages which to do this type of simulation. OpenLRT provides a solution like EHS, electric hardware solver, such that whatever the circuit, it may be in SPS, means SIMPO systems, or PSIM, PLPlex software, you can, whatever the electronic converter, which without writing any coding, we know that we have, if you want to program FPGA, we should be expert in that VHDL coding and some other tools. But here we don't need those programming, no programming skills is required. This solver will directly push this your circuit into FPGA, such that we can simulate in microsecond range to the nanosecond range. You can see with ranging from 150 nanoseconds to 2 microsecond, such that we can go up to 150 nanosecond simulation time, and we can simulate your Polaronic converter mainly. So why I'm talking about this Polaronic converters and power system? It's in microgrid we have a combination of both all these things. When you want to simulate this thing, this type of solvers and this type of things are necessary to simulate and visualize this microgrid effect. Not only those things, it supports different protocols, as we can see about smart grids. How intelligent means depends on load flow, and it has to do by itself. What is where the load is increasing, and which is a balancing of loads, I can say, like critical load, non-critical load. How smartly it can do by itself with the help of these protocols. Either load shedding, and when PV is not available, where I have to take from energy from grid, or like that. And you can see these are the different type of protocols it supports, like I61850, or different C37, Modbus, all these things. So these are different type of this thing. And if you see the overview of different solvers, till now we have seen this where with power converters we can go for different sample time of models. We have to depend on each and every model needs to be, I can say, equipment will have their own time step, the operation time step. So we can simulate all the varieties in the within this step by using these solvers. All these solvers will provide from the OpenLRT itself. Now coming to this typical application of a microgrid, you can see it here. A small typical circuit, or I can say typical smart grid, I can say. So if you see here, there you can simulate all the microgrid. Yeah, I will answer all your questions at the end of this lecture. I am seeing some certain questions. After my presentation, we'll have some question answer session. I will read some questions and I can answer most of the things at that. Now, if you see this OpenLRT box, which is in the black color, so this is the OpenLRT simulator, and it can be interconnected with the relays, PMUs, GPS clock to know. As we know, the microgrid, different microgrids are there at different locations. So how we can interconnect these things with the National Load Dispatch Center by positioning, by knowing the timestamp GPS, and connecting with the PMU to know its current and voltage at different places. And with the relay, we can know the go for island detection, or to trip the circuit, and to know what's the health position of each and every breaker at different places. And you can see this power amplifier. You can connect this power amplifier to integrate with the main grid, with the local grid. If you such that we can simulate all the Powertronic, sorry, not all the Powertronic, all the microgrid components, renewable energy sources in the simulation network itself, with the PV, wind, and everything. And you can take out this low voltage signals from the simulator, and you can connect with the power amplifier. You can connect to a local grid within your laboratory to your local main grid, and you can visualize this effect of this microgrid to the local main grid, such that you can study in your laboratory itself, and you can observe all these things within your using GUI within your laboratory. With this beautiful GUI, you can observe what's the currents and voltage and speed and everything you can observe within that one place. So these are typical setup in Lincoln Laboratory, as I am showcasing you here. Some people are from abroad, from outside the Indian country, so those you may have seen here. there we have simulated all this microgrid network within the simulation environment, and they have connected some physical relays and physical PMUs. They have simulated some a part of the network, their country network, and they have connected some microgrids to different places, and they have seen the effect of these microgrids in their main grid. So now I'm going to show you some microgrid live example of design in MATLAB. So as let me show you that live example from microgrid model, which is developed in MATLAB itself. So generally, these OpenLRT simulators, generally we used to simulate in not only MATLAB. You can go for a different things. So here it's a microgrid model. You can see different sources and slowly. Yeah. This entire thing in MATLAB itself. So there is a 549 distribution network is there actually. So if you see the distribution network, let me zoom. So I have separated this distribution network into four regions. I can say like east, west, north, south, like that. So if you see in each and every distribution network, I have taken a model of with all transmission line and everything, considering all the things with the different parameters, long line, short line, and everything. And similarly, you can observe here in different region. Here 126 nodes are there. Again, these 100 I have been split into two halves. So based on and some part have been masked due to where the fault is happening or if that is under development, like that. So like that, I have considered some 549 distribution network. So I'm expanding this network to furthermore to 615. But as of now, I'm gonna show you with the 549 distribution network. And I have connected a small breaker here to this 108 nodes. If any fault is happening, is it possible to run within one core? Yes, I can. I am showing with one core only right now. I will explain about those things. Because of this help of the solvers, I'm running in one core only. I will show you about all those things. And this is a distribution network as of now. And if you see these two distribution network, this is the main grid I am considering. And you can see this islanding breaker here. If any fault is happening at any particular bus on this island, if any fault is happening at any of the distribution network, immediately this breaker will be opened and such that this microgrid will be islanded and it will be given to a local power system. So you can see BEESS, battery energy storage devices, where I have considered equivalent of this battery, equivalent circuit, and there is a two-level time-stamped bridge converter, and batteries are there, and it is also connected with the main grid by using the Poltronic converters and everything. And coming to battery, and let me go to this PV integration, PV generation. You can see where this PV has been taken a direct block from the MATLAB, and if you go inside this, we know that a PV block and which has to give different irradiation. All the PV parameters have been programmed, as well as this irradiance comes from a PV profile. And not only that, there is some control. I will tell you this each and every control profiles which you are seeing here. There are different profiles for wind as well as PV. All the profiles have been designed for all the parameters have been programmed, and it has been developed in one Excel sheet, and it has been programmed to it. And if you observe this wind turbine, there is some you can see here asynchronous generator is there, and it is also has been wind turbine. It's sensing and everything. It is also connected to the main grid. So PV and battery and wind energy, as well as you can see there's different type of loads are there at different places. Critical load, shadable load, non-critical loads, and everything. These have been designed and everything. So you can design these type of things, and we have went for a communication, not communication, for control algorithm. So each will have their own controller, individual controller are there. That's why this is a controller. Everything is at here. This different MPPT algorithm and which are getting pulses for wind and PV MPPT and island detection and different fault happens and PV profile, wind profile, everything. And we know MATLAB. Those who are most of as we are professionals, academic professionals, we know most of about how MATLAB works, and we used to see the results in the scope only. Scope means where you can visualize these things with the help of these things where you can visualize. But with the help of RTLab, we can go for a beautiful GUI. Let me show you the GUI. We can design a new GUI things. I'm running this MATLAB model. in one of the core. With this AutoLab test drive, we can make a LabVIEW GUI things like SCADA things where we can visualize all of them at one particular one place itself. Like, let me show you these things. Now you can see with the help of, as I discussed just now, with Artemis solver and running this pod in eFPGA sim, FPGA, and eMega sim is nothing but Artemis SSN solver. So I can simulate, I can make a LabVIEW panel virtually to visualize like this, such that now on the fly, now this model, this entire thing is running in MATLAB. It is running in one of the core with a time step of 50 microsecond. And entire MATLAB model is running at 50 microsecond. And if you see this converter, whichever is, there is a converter, a DC to inverter, or else some other DC to DC converters, they will be operating in nanoseconds or in microseconds time step. That means a part of the entire model is in FPGA and a part of the model is in CPU. And entire thing, all the model parameters will be updated for every 50 microsecond. Each and every parameter will be updated with the 50 microsecond sample time. And if you want to know increase, as it has been already profiled, this wind turbine has been designed for 10 kilowatt and PV for 12 kilowatt and battery for 10 kV, 72 kVA. And there are different loads are available here, like critical load, non-critical load, and suitable loads. And it is being connected to a grid, which is a, here in the image, you can see it's a 509 distribution network. That means on, if I want to increase the grid power as well as I want to turn on this island detection on all these things, you can suppose if now this model running currently in the live, I'm showing this model in live. If I want to increase its wind speed, suppose if I increase wind speed to 10 meters per second, and you can see this change in its wind power generation. It can, as this wind turbine can capable of 10 kilowatt, and this can generate 6 kilowatt power, and it is feeding to the main grid. And you can see this power change in power. It is pushing to the main grid, it is taking from the main grid. We can see reactive power and active power, it's minus 6 kilowatt. That means currently we are pushing 6 kilowatt of power to the main grid. At the same time, you can see here irradiance of the PV. I hope you can see my cursor. Is it right? Sir, anyone of you reply? You see my cursor? Fine. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Now you can see this wind PV generation. As of now, you can see PV is 9.7 kilowatt, and because of this irradiance is 800. Let me reduce this irradiance to some other value. Now we can see the decrement in the decrease in the PV generation. As we know, irradiance is the main factor for this thing. Like that, you can simulate everything, and you can increase the load. And if you suddenly, what happens if I increase the critical load to the speed where all the loads are coming? So what happens whether my PV can meet or my wind energy is there? All loads are high. But when all load are high, suppose my wind is not there. So what happens whether it has to take from the main grid? You can design. Whether PV is also not available, you can see now my battery is supplying that much amount of power. You can see the change in the battery power. Let me see. Now you can see the battery power is 48 value. Now let me increase my wind. Now you can observe this type of, see now its battery power is decreasing from 48 to 38. It has, sorry, 43 to 38 decreased. Let me increase my PV as well as. So this now logic has been implemented such that because battery is a thing which is a back end I can say backup for this energy source, because PV and this wind can be stored for longer time, and whenever this generation is there, we have to give to the load. Now we can see it has been reduced furthermore. Like that, you can go for like 24-hour solar and wind profiles if you want to go, or different profiles you want to go. You can do like that. Let me go to data acquisition here. I hope you can. I can see MPPT as well as whether you want to go for MPPT enabled or disabled. Like that, you can play with like 24-hour profile you need or 12 hours profile you need. Like that, you can go for. Like if you click 24-hour profile, it can only simulate automatically without changing it manually the profile which I told earlier from the Excel sheet, which I have loaded to this MATLAB environment in the MATLAB model itself. So it will take all the profiles according to it. So we'll take the profile. What is the at what time to what time? What is the profile from time t equal to 0, 24-hour profile? If you take, maybe we know that PV will be available only from the during the sun is available. That means almost in a day we can consider we cannot consider not more than 10 hours. But wind may be the 24 hours, but we don't know when wind will come and when wind will go. It changes according to the irradiation pattern as well, as because ultimately for wind energy also sun is indirectly directly I can say directly or indirectly sun is the source again for generation of this wind energy. Yeah. So by considering all these things, this GUI has been developed in the GUI. In this, we can develop the like type of this type of GUIs, and you can simulate and you can see these things. When sun is there, you can see now sun image came into picture. When I go for, if I turn off the 24 profile, you can see it's like night time. Like that, we can simulate and we can check a different type of algorithms. Now, you, as someone have asked how I am able to go for if I create a fault, let me go to this acquisition. So I can observe all the acquisition, what is the position of each and every like a battery energy, currently that voltage at the battery. Sorry for a second. Yeah. You can observe its voltages and currents and what is the current irradiation. All the profiles you can observe at one place, as well as what's the kVA rating at this thing. You can see PV in yellow color and battery and load. What is the grid voltage? Sorry, grid power. All these things, and you can change whether you want to increase the reactive power to the main grid or control what is the current thing. Everything you can see. Grid connect, island detected. Let me go for island detected. If you go for island detect, the change in this currents and voltage, you can observe there is small decrement. Now you can see grid is. You can see this change in its waveforms and everything. So it's gonna affect after a certain time also, no, because as suddenly if you remove, it has to take, because dynamics is to take place. The moment you open the breaker, immediately it cannot shift its energy profile. It needs certain time, because we can simulate like that, like a real, but we can make a virtuality in the simulation itself, like a physical thing. And again, you can go for grid connected mode. And let me see the profiles, like a wind profile, all the things, sun intensity, as well as what is the its thing, what is the current intensity, PV pro, how much energy we are getting, what is the battery profile, different wind speeds, everything. And then coming to the fault thing. So as I have shown you in the MATLAB model, so I have created a fault. Let me show you this thing. Here there is a breaker is there. So here I am creating a fault at this place. So I can create the fault whenever I need. So because we don't know when the fault will happen generally in the process network. So I have taken the fault whenever I want to create the fault and how much time I want to create, how much fault resistance also I want to keep. All these things have been already have designed such that I can give here how much time I want to create the fault. All this time period, duration, variation, everything I can go for. All these things I can design prior to it, and which type of fault I need to take. Either I want to go for like a line to ground fault, double L fault, triple L fault, triple L ground fault. I can predefine all the things. I can create a fault. Let me create a line to ground fault at that particular place. When the fault is affected, you can see the change in the voltages, that line to ground fault. That's why you can see only one, I can say one phase has been not there, and remaining two phases, the voltage jump in it, this per unit voltage change in it. So you can observe these things. And if you go for different things, at the same time, if you want to go and if you see in different places, the change in the voltages and everything you can observe. Like that, you can design everything in the LabVIEW GUI, or else you can design in the MATLAB itself and you can visualize these results later on. I hope this presentation makes you to a little bit understanding and everything. I can see a lot of questions coming into picture. And let me go back to my presentation. Let me stop this presentation for a while. I hope this is you can understand. And you can go for load profiles. Sorry, not. You can go for different loading also if you want to go different parameters, all these things. You can go for Allen detection or all these things. You can on off this breaker also, like on off critical load or all those things. You can go for load control by microgrid controller as well as. And this will be like this, like controller. You can observe these things. Entire this all this PV and wind, everything is virtually have simulated within one simulator with 14510, provided that this Autolab software and this eMegaSim software. And you can, I think you have observed here, I'm using these two different solver rates like Artemis and eFPGA solver, and the entire thing is running in one core of the simulator. And you can see the CPU utilization. It is occupying only 70% as of now out of 100%. Everything is running in one core. To make sure that is running in one core, you can observe this model is having only SM. Those who are familiar with Opal RT technologies, and you can observe on the top level, it is having only one subsystem. SC is just console and SM is the master. It is occupying only one core. If you want to go for more than one core, we have to go for another subsystem. Those who are familiar with Opal RT technologies. Yes, to get more understanding, you can attend our FDP program from 22nd. Means day after tomorrow. I will share the link how you can register it. And when I told about for accelerating the simulation sometime back, even you can do in the MATLAB also, you can see the accelerator. Generally used to go for normal simulators. simulations, generally we have to go for rapid accelerator or else for acceleration, such that we can go for accelerating the simulations as well as it is occupying only one core. Let me come back to my my presentation. Yeah. Now we have seen this presentation with, as I am developing for 615 nodes also, there is another same model, but I have expanded this one more distribution network. So you can see this how I can able to simulate this entire network within one core and with 50 microsecond time step. Generally, it may takes more than 3 crores and something full model running this generally. This Artemis SSN, which what will do, it will decouple this distribution network into 13 parallel groups actually with the help of this block. I think I forgot to show this block. It is kept at different parts in the different network, such that it will make into 13 smaller electrical subsystems, I can say, like a small 13 smaller electrical network or circuit, such that we can have 13 small things. Such that the size of the matrix here will be 51 states or 8 switches. Here the matrix size may be 50 by 151 matrix. It will be 24 by 24 matrix. But if you consider all of them together, then the size of the matrix may be very big size matrix. And to do the calculations within one core, it is not sufficient. Can't able to simulate. That's why with the help of this Artemis solver and with EFPGA sim, where we can go for higher switching frequencies, as well as we can simulate a large complex network. Till now, we have seen all things in virtual in nature, where my PV, wind, all energy sources, my grid and distribution, everything is in virtual, nothing physical. Only with the help of one simulator and with the help of these solvers, I can able to design like this microgrid, and I have seen it. And different control logic I have implemented and I have visualized its result for different wind and PV profiles. Now, those who wants to go for a little bit advanced, as I told in my first presentation, the title of the presentation is like HAL and PHAL. Now, coming to this HAL and PHAL, so you may know about HAL means hardware in loop, PHAL means power hardware in the loop. So when we can say it's power hardware in the loop, where Opalati provides other, apart from the real-time simulators, will provide this like a grid simulator, and or else we'll call power amplifier. The Alborg Institute have already procured this grid simulator from us, from Opalati. With this grid simulator, it is a 3-phase grid simulator of 10 kilowatt rating. So it can be interconnected with the Opalati simulator. Till now, we have seen in the Opalati simulator, I talked about the distribution network, all the sources are there. But as it is a simulator, it cannot provide a power signal. It's a simulator where you can simulate all the signals, electrical signals. If it is 11 kV or 200 kV, whatever the network voltage range of voltage of this network, you need to scale down to a particular value because simulator cannot give not more than plus or minus 15 volts from its DAC card, unlock card, and that can be connected to this power amplifier, I can say, and it can maximize or it can amplify it to 415 volts, such that in the simulation environment it may be 11 kV, but in the physical environment we can treat it as a physical 3-phase 415 volts. In Indian, we go for 415 volts 3-phase, 50 hertz. From there, you can take a physical and you can drive a motor as well as you can drive a motor. We can add some loads and we can connect to the main grid, such that this equipment acts as a physical grid in your laboratory itself. And it can be connected to the local grid within your network, such that all the microgrid equipments are within the simulation environment, and you are connecting this to the main grid. You are connecting the main grid. That means all the renewable distributed energy sources are in the simulation environment, and with the small help of this grid simulator itself, we are connected to the main grid. And how this grid simulator is there, it's a back-to-back converter, and with operation, all those things, I'm not gonna much details about it. So we can give you you can control it from by giving the gating pulses, or else you can give the low voltage signals like 2 volt, 3 volts, and it can amplify it to 450 volts, 3-phase. And one more thing is also thing which I forgot to tell here. Where you want to go for like a single phase faults, you can do the faults also on this thing, such that when microgrid is after microgrid everything, you have a final inverter which can convert this entire energy into a 3-phase supply. What happens? One of the phase has been damaged, or one of the phase is not working properly. Some fault is happened when you connect to the main grid. So you can't connect the 2-phase thing only main grid, because you are going to disturb the main grid itself in your laboratory or wherever you have current don't disturb. So with this power amplifier, this grid simulator, you can connect the 2-phase only. You can see its output at U and at V and all these things. You can go for single phase, or also you can go for 2-phase or 3-phase. You can operate even in 2-phase also. and you can study when you give only two phase inverter fault. When you are doing inverter, some people may work on inverter faults. Essentially, they will do the fault on the inverter one leg or one phase, and they're going to see the dynamics in it, and they're going to see the effect of this thing in the main grid. And not only that thing, they can go for different voltage every phase. That means our phase maybe like phase A maybe 450, phase B maybe 300, phase C maybe 500. Difference in the voltage, difference in the frequency as well as. They can simulate these type of things and they can study these cases, which is not possible in the physical real time in the physical equipments. And coming to this, Opal provides not only those things, DFIG based wind emulators and it's PMSM based wind emulator. The induction machine is coupled to it, and induction machine is the drive like a wind emulator thing, and it can be connected to the main grid as well as a local grid, like this. And you can see this with this DFIG control thing is a virtual HMI panel is there where you can go for you can dump your own wind profiles. You can give your own wind characteristics, and you can operate this entire wind energy wind emulator according to your requirement. And we can have a PMSM based wind emulator as well as it's 3.7 kilowatt. Here also same thing. We have encode and we know the position of the speed. And where those who wants working on mainly microgrid consists of a large variety of research areas. Among the microgrids, some people may be mainly working on converter level. Some people might be working on I can say like only wind part. Some people may be working on only PV part. Some people may be working on low voltage right through like a reactive power injection. Some people may be working on harmonic injection to the main grid. Some might be working on load flows. Different areas are there. So those who are mainly focused on this converter topologies, and if they want to go for different going for MPPT algorithms in wind energy or a PV, so they can go for FOC controlled, a DTC control, hysteresis control. They can implement all on these controllers, and they can check which topology is good, how I can go efficient operation of it. They can do all these things, front-end converter, all these things they can. And we'll provide PV emulator as well as. Here also same, you can dump your own characteristics. Here there is a DC-DC converter. It's a this thing. It's a boost converter where you can get finally that 48 to 50 or 60 volts. I forgot the voltage range. Where you can get that much voltage range, and you can operate this PV emulator as well as. It's 10 kilowatt. And there's a grid tie inverter as well as, and you can operate this grid tie inverter also according to your requirement. Just now I told you. So like power amplifier as well as, where you can go for grid connected inverter, where you can go for same tests validation you can do, like removing one phase, going for different frequencies, different voltages. This is the same model which I have shown you. Here you can see a little bit. I forgot to make it PPT point. Now this is the PPT model which I have demonstrated to you sometime back. The same distribution network and the battery energy source. All these things have been connected to the main grid. It has been kind of like the different loads, and have taken a bisection line between PV, and you can observe this thing. Because the wind and these things are different locations. By considering this bisection line, by giving some values of transmission line, length of the transmission. This is a GUI how you can develop and you can operate it. With the PHL, we should see this. Still now we have seen this microgrid. Now coming to this PHL part, you can replace these things wind with wind emulator and PV and with type of emulators and everything, battery and loads, different loads. But controller will be within OpalRT. And you can, in the laboratory itself, you can, with the help of these equipments, you can make a small microgrid. You may not have the sufficient funds to go for this type of ratings. Even you can ask us to design only for 1 kilowatt or maybe 2 kilowatt, so that cost will reduce. But ultimately, it depends again the research area, whether you want to go for a higher power rating, or you are focused on converters, or you are focused on the batteries or grid integration. You can do these things within 1 day, all the things. And I told you about some time back, like supervisory control and local controller. This is a power amplifier where you can connect with this main grid, and you can observe the supervisory controller as well as, where you can observe within the simulator itself. You can make both local controller as well as supervisory controller. Yes, you have your own DSP controller or microcontroller or some other Arduino board controller, which can be controlled only the PV part, and remaining controller you can keep. You can keep each and every local controller. One PV have its own controller, wind have its own controller, battery have its own controller. And from all the controllers, you can take corresponding parameters or required parameters and feedback to the main supervisory controller, where you can keep in OpalRT, and you can control all of them. You can monitor the position of each and every equipment. and you can exchange the data, means exchange communication. When load increases, you can give a command to the PV, or you can give a command to the battery charge it. You can do this type of studies. I have seen a lot of questions. Let me go to the question and answer session. If you can speak to me, you can ask the questions now.
So thank you very much, Mr. Sekhar, for elaborating about the application of Opal RT in microgrid. You have also told about the communication protocols under the cyber securities. You have discussed about challenges which really may be helpful for the researchers to proceed their research. And the way of explaining was very simple and understandable for the researcher point of view. So thank you very much.